Hey guys, real quick before this video starts, I want to touch base with you. I have the giveaway going May 1st. I'm going to pull a winner for the person. One lucky person is going to get $100 worth of lures from the mystery tackle box and monster bass for the month of March. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so you can get in on that. We're trying to get 225 subscribers before May 1st. We're almost there. When I was doing this video, we're around 205 ish. So please subscribe, and hopefully you'll be that person. So thanks again, and enjoy the video.
Mom, you're gonna say this is gross.
What's going on out there? So we're gonna do some woodwork today, and I am by any means a carpenter, but I have what I think I need, and what we're gonna build is a trellis. So we've got a clematis that's been growing for the last 3 years, and I built a little cheap, crappy one. Just something to get it by for a little while until I get a nicer one. We're gonna just buy a metal one or whatever. But I found one online that I really liked, and in order to do that, we have to build it. So that's what I'm going to do today. And it's 43 degrees outside. It's blowing like a son of a gun, so it's a little chilly. But anyways, the trellis that I have is pretty flimsy, and it's made it 3 years, but it keeps blowing over and stuff. So we're gonna make one today that is no longer going to move. So I'll put a picture up right here, which one we're building. Handy Dad TV is where I got it from. He actually has a link that'll take you to all the supplies you need, which is what I did. But I'm gonna I'm more in depth on things. He kind of skips through stuff really fast. So I'm gonna try to make this video as short as possible, but I'm gonna give you a little bit more in depth of how I put it together opposed to how he does it. He seems like he's a little more carpenter friendly, whereas I'm not so much. And I think you guys watching me do it is gonna be a little bit more informational and see where I screw up or where I don't screw up and what I do to make things work and so on. So yeah, the ingredients we need for today is I picked up 4 1x6 by 8 foot pressure treated lumber. I've got 1 2x6 by 8 foot pressure treated lumber, and then I've got a 1x4 by 8 foot pressure treated lumber. And then for the outsides, I picked up 2 4x4 by 10 foot. Now in his thing he calls for 8 foot, but he also anchors it to the house. I'm not doing that. So he also has it where it stands roughly, I think he has 84 inches, so 7 foot out of the ground. I'm gonna go more like 6 to 6.5 foot. So I might cut some off of those, but I'm gonna try to get anywhere from 2 to 3 foot in the ground, and then try to make the trellis where it stands tall enough to be no taller than 6.5 foot, I believe, is all I really want to do. This is going underneath my soffit, the overhang of my house, so that's only, I think, 7'9" or 7'10". So I only have a little bit of room to work there, and I don't think I'm going to be able to slide these into the hole at 10 foot long. So I think if I cut them down to 9 feet and I get at least 2.5 feet in the ground, that'll give me a 6.5 foot tall trellis, and I don't think it's going to be too So let's get started. Okay. Okay, so we ripped the boards. Got a pretty good mess here. And I had a situation where there was a pretty good knot in one of them. So I'm hoping that doesn't mess me up, but I'll let you guys know as soon as I get to this portion where I'm going to need these, whether or not that is a mess up. Because I know I'm not using the full 8 foot. I'm only using a certain footage, and I think that this isn't going to affect anything, but we'll see. And as you can tell, I don't, that made me nervous. My grandfather was a woodsman, or woodworker. He literally built amazing things with his hands, and I wish I had more time to learn from him, but I didn't. I was a young kid when he was doing most of it. But yeah, nobody died, so we're in good shape. So let's continue on. Alright, so I shut the garage a little bit because the wind's blowing sawdust everywhere. But those were my 1x6 by 8 foot boards that we cut up. That's going to be used for the lattice. And if I didn't mention before, all this stuff is pressure treated wood. It's not that expensive. I think I got about $60 in wood. Alright, before I got a phone call, so I don't know where I left off at. But anyways, like I was saying before, this is all pressure treated wood. What I just got done ripping was the 1x4 by 8s. I'm sorry, 1x6 by 8s. I was ripping 3 pieces out of each one at 1.5 inches wide. Now what I have sitting here is the 2x6 by 8. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this directly in half. And these are going to be my header pieces, okay? Also, I wanted to say earlier too is I have no doubt in my mind that the home improvement stores are making tons of money during this little virus thing, because I know I've been there probably 4 or 5 times in a week or so. So I usually don't go but once a month. So let's go ahead and cut this in half. This measures out to be 96.5 inches long, which is 8 foot and a half of an inch. So I'm going to cut it directly in half at 48.25, and that's how wide it's going to be. If I have to cut it off a little bit more, like if I have to do some trimming later, which I don't think I will, but we'll see. If I have to cut it down to make it an even 48, it's not hard to just trim off a small section. Alright, so we have two fairly even pieces. Actually, like almost spot on. That's pretty good. All right, and now we've got to get some string. I gotta go out to my shed and get that. And what we're gonna do is we're going to set up a little device. I'm gonna show you how to do that to measure the radius that we want to cut on this. Okay, so don't make fun, but this is how we're gonna do this. So on Handy Dad's channel, he doesn't really show too much of what he's doing, but he has what he calls a radius calculator and he draws it out. And I'm doing the same thing, and if you go to his site where you find the supplies for everything, it shows you on there there's what's called a radius calculator. What you do is you take the board length, which is 48 1/4 inches, and I did 5 inches tall because I'm gonna cut probably, this is 5 1/2, and I'm probably gonna cut 1/4 inch, maybe more off the top, just so I can make a nice smooth radius. Probably 1/4 inch, so I probably could have put 5 1/4 inches, but I did 5 inches by 48 1/4, and that gave me my radius, which was 60 inch long. So I tied a string to the door there, and this string to the end of pencil, and it's about 60 inches, 60 1/2 inches long. And the way that works is I found the dead center of the board, and I stuck my pencil there, and I just drew the line, okay? Now this is a very tricky process. You got to try to get the board as straight as you can to the wall. Before I actually do the line, I did lots of test runs without putting the pencil down to make sure it was going to end about the same on the other side. And then now, since I've got my stuff drawn out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a jigsaw, I'm going to cut this, cut the radius out. But the thing is that Kenny doesn't show you is I don't know what the distance is you get here, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3 inches down here, and I'm going to go about 2 inches up. I'm going to cut into the board like that, and I'm going to start my radius. So that way if I need a little something there, screw into it. We'll do the same thing with ourselves. He doesn't really explain it, but that's why I'm putting this video out. I'm doing the same thing. I think it's interesting, but I wanted to put it in depth detail how I did it, or what I'm, if I mess something up, or what you guys need to be looking out for. And then I'll try to put the total cost of everything in there as well. But yeah, so we're gonna get busy, and I'm gonna get the jigsaw. And last time I used a jigsaw, it was probably really bad. So this is going to be interesting. I hope I'm gonna try to do the best I can. If not, I guess I'll be doing a lot of sanding. So let's get that set up and let's start cutting our arches. Oh boy. So yeah, we're gonna do some serious sanding on it. Other than that, don't look too bad. But yeah, hopefully sandpaper helps it out. So that blade did not want to go through there very well. All right, so I got my top piece cut. In no way, shape, or form am I saying that this is beautiful, but if you stand way back here and you look, it looks all right, right? I got some more sanding I could do. Maybe a little touch up. But what we're gonna do, as soon as I can figure out what to do with my pencil, I'm gonna take and I'm gonna cut the same radius out of the bottom piece. So you're just gonna line it up best you can. And this right here will go to the bottom of this board. And all you do is draw your line around that. And make sure you get it right the first time so you don't have 3 lines going through. And then you can cut that out. That looks good. The problem is I got to do a better job of cutting this one. I think it might have been the saw blade that really screwed me up. I was really trying to force it through, so I might be able to do some cleanup on this, or just hopefully 20 feet away, you really won't be able to tell. Doesn't look that bad for a long ways away. Like I said, I'm not a carpenter, I'm not a woodworker. I'd love to, but I don't have nowhere near the tools, and I do what I can where I can. So now we're going to try to cut out the bottom. Wow, the bottom worked out a heck of a lot better than the top, but it probably has to do with that blade. It still looks cattywampus as shit though. So, sanding in my future. You can fix anything with a little sandpaper. Alright, so I'm going to cut it out here. I'm going to get to sanding. I'll come back to you once I get it to where I think it's good enough, and then we'll start putting the rest of it together. I've got my 4x4s that are going to go. These are the side rails. I sanded a little bit. I got some more sanding I'm going to do on them. But I bought 10 footers because I want this thing to stand on its own, so I need some depth into the ground with these. So I bought 10 footers, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get 10 footers underneath my thing and in there. I'll show you when I go to put it up. But so I cut a foot off. That's going to give me 2.5 feet in the ground. I think that's going to be plenty. 3 foot is the desired depth, but I believe 2.5 feet in the ground is going to be plenty, because I'm going to make this it's going to be 6.5 feet tall out of the ground. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get measured away here on where I'm going to place the top boards, and I'm going to come 3 inches down and this needs to be cleaned up. I can barely read it. So I'm going to come 3 inches down, make a little mark, and this 4x4 is actually 3 3/4 maybe. Can't hardly read that. Yeah, it's about 3 3/4 wide. So half of that, I think we're gonna do almost half. So I'm gonna do 3 inches down, and half of 3.5 is 1.75. So half. We're just gonna do that. We're gonna go 1.75 in. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna drill a pilot hole here, and this is where the lag screw is gonna go to hold my top piece on. These are 1/2 inch by 8 inches long. Where I think I'm at now from the last time I talked to you. So I was going to do some sanding. I was going to put them together. So I got my top board up there put on right there. I got my bottom board put on. Like I said, I used the lag screws to go just one on both sides. And then this is where I'm not a carpenter. My battery died when right before I was finishing my last lag bolt. So I put it on the charger. I said, well, I got the table saw. Let me go ahead and cut these links, these slats. Anyways, so I decided, well, I got the table saw. I'll cut these slats to the right size, and that'll be done and ready to go for when my battery's done and charged. So I cut them. I cut all of them. And then afterwards realized that I cut them all to that length. And guess what? The ones going this way are not the same size. So, yeah, I think I almost got to the point where I might have screwed up. But I think we're going to be okay. Now, the thing is, I can't give you dimensions on what I used because you might want to make yours smaller, you might want to make yours bigger, but whatever you do, measure, measure, measure. What I did also noticed is what I wanted to do is I wanted the 2x4 or the 4x4s to go about 2.5 feet in the ground. This would be about a foot off the ground. And after I got them all laid out, screwed together, and I'm looking at it, I don't think I have enough. Well, I've got 30 inches. So about 2.5 feet before I hit this. So that means this is gonna be all the way against the ground. So I should have moved this up. I don't know where I screwed that up at, but I did. So now this, I'm gonna put it about, I'm gonna put it 28 inches in the ground. Hopefully that'll be enough to hold it. And that'll be about 6 inches off the ground for the bottom piece. And then I started moving on to the slats. I haven't screwed all this in yet. I've been just laid it out. I cut me a couple small pieces off the leftovers that I had and started measuring it out. What I've come up with is that between the rails is about 48.25 inches. Now, to get each one of these perfectly, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1.5 inches, and then this is 5.5 inches. Or I'm sorry, 3 3/4 inches, I think. So I took all these and added them together, and then minus that out of these, out of this whole section here, out of the 48, which let's say, I'm not gonna do the math right now, but anyways, and then I knew that I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. I divided that number by 6, which gave me what I was gonna have pretty much between all of them. And I cut me a block, which is here, and used those blocks to separate. And then I did the same thing going that way. So I knew I was gonna have 8 going that way, and there would be 9 locations, I hope, if I counted right, that are 9 slots. And this way was going 68 inches. So these are all 1.5. So I made up 1.5, which was 12 inches. 68 minus 12 is 56. 56 divided by 9 is like 6.25. So I knew between each slat, 6.25 inches. All right, I hope you all enjoyed that little time lapse there. So, by the way, these screws I'm using to make the back of the lats are 1 1/4 inches that I was just using there. When I go, so this isn't attached yet. When I do go to attach it, I'm gonna drill some holes right here. Right there. I'm just gonna make a pilot hole. I'm gonna use a 2 1/2 inch screws, probably 6 or 7 of them down along the sides to hold this thing in there. But that's gonna be after I get done staining it and set it in there. So let me get this thing stood up and we'll go over kind of everything that has happened and then we'll get to staining. All right, so there's what that portion looks like, and then of course I have the frame over here. I wasn't standing up; it's too damn tall. And then what I kind of messed up on the back was I cut a couple pieces too short, but I end up with enough long pieces to where I just put them in the where they fit in the center here. So I got 3 rows that are like that, and the rest of them are, are full pieces. So just a quick rundown real quick. I gave you everything, what the sizes were of everything that I had for the boards when I initially bought them. I ripped everything, those lattice down to 1 1/2 here. I ripped these 1 1/2 and then however long. And then this was a 1x4 by 8 foot. I cut it to length because obviously this is an 8 foot. So like I said, I've got I think everything looks pretty well evenly spaced. This will be the front. You can't tell any of the mess ups I've got on the back. 1 1/4 inch screws to hold in every location on the back side. None of them came through, so we're in good shape there. And when you get on the ends, just to kind of note, you can kind of see there, it looks like it's about to start cracking. Some of them will crack. So go in the board as far as you can without missing this board. And go slow, and you'll be fine. I think it was this one. I had to All right. I think I have the staining done for tonight. So this is all done, front and back. The back's obviously gonna have some drippage on it, but I don't really care. Nobody's gonna see it. So this is the front. I got it laid up. I brushed it real nice. And then, of course, I got the frame, which down at the bottom I was not able to get stained because, well, I've been on that for a little while. And then I went to this. I figured this may be dry. I could flip it. but it's still pretty wet. You can kind of see it. Probably has to do with because the wood might be a little wet too. So I'm thinking I'm going to call it here. So hopefully after all this hard work, it turns out well. But we'll find out when tomorrow when I get it set in the ground. And hopefully it doesn't fall over and hopefully it looks good. Welcome back. It's the next day. So this morning I get up early. It's at 7:30. Or no, sorry. 6 o'clock. Had to go do some training. I came back home. Got the second coat on. You can kind of see. I don't know, maybe. Oh yeah, now she's complete. Look at that, girl. So it's a little dirty. Yeah, wipe some of that off, wipe some of this dirt off a little bit. And as you can see, this side looks lighter. That's what was laying on the ground. I was not able to get a second coat on it. So I'm gonna bring a stain out here and second coat it while it's sitting up. Oh yeah, the sun's coming out now. It was just snowing freaking 2 minutes ago. I'm sure you guys seen that. But anyways, there she sits. There's our clematis. I gotta kind of weave it in there a little bit so it can start going around it all at once. But yeah, tell me what you guys think. I think it looks pretty snazzy. Even though I had some mess ups here and there, it can be done. As you guys see, it was quite a bit of a tight fit getting this centerpiece in, but it's a lot easier to carry 2 sections out here. And then these screws here, I just countersunk a little bit here. I pre-drilled these as well, so that way I wouldn't split the wood. And these are 2.5 inch, and I used 6 of them just to kind of hold it in there. Stain's a little crazy when you're up on it. You can kind of see all the drip marks and everything, but from afar back, by golly, she looks pretty dang good, I think. So yeah, that's gonna be a wrap with that, guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them below. I hope I went over everything extremely well, so that way you can build your own. I'm not giving you any measurements because I ended up changing my measurements like 3 times and didn't know what the heck I was gonna do, because I'm not a great carpenter. I can literally measure something 3 times and then 4 moves down the road I go, why the hell did I cut it that short, or why did I cut it that long? That's just how I am. I'm not the greatest at carpentry work. But if I can put this together and it look as good as it does, you can put it together if you want to as well. Total cost on everything was around $100. I had $65 in my cart for Menards for the material, but then the little caps on top ended up charging me $10 a piece, so that was another 20 bucks. And then I end up buying stain. I was going to use some that I have, and I said, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna buy some new stain, some seal, the waterproof sealant stain. That was 15, so that put me up around the $100 mark. I'm gonna say, I think it was about 110 bucks is what it cost. If you have screws and stuff, you know, use what you have. You don't have to go buy new screws. If you got 1.25 inch, use them. I would definitely do pressure treated, because one, the lumber is in the ground, so it's gonna be at ground contact all the time, and then you have what's above the ground, which is gonna be in the elements, you know, year round, 365 days. So do pressure treated. If, like I said, if you have a question that I missed something or didn't show you, this has been a long day and a half now, trying to get this done, and I'm still not completely done with it yet. So, and I know I have videos all over the place I'm gonna have to edit the crap out of. So if I missed something, let me know. I'll definitely reply in the comments. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you guys want to learn how to put a trellis together, I hope that you like that. And like I said, I think I did an all right job. I think it looks pretty good. And yeah, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.